Welcome to Beyond, on location at Spogatini Seal Beach with amazing artist Andy Vargas bringing you The Beat.
Don't say what you're told. It's time to question what you see. The answers will unfold if you put your faith in the beat. Dance in the street, the planet has to manipulate. Sow the seeds of fear and hate. There's competition for your move. Don't you worry. Just pay attention to the groove. 'Cause it feels so good when all you got to do is dance. Baby, give the beat a chance. When nothing else is making sense, just put the rhythm to the test. Baby, give the beat a chance. All we got to do is come on and dance. That's right now. You gotta move it. Reach out to your brother. Do your heart with the groove. Don't treat him like the other, 'cause we got nothing to prove. Act like there's a difference. Woo. Consequence of ignorance. But there's no other way to prove. Don't you worry. Just pay attention to the groove. 'Cause the fire is so good. When all you got to do is dance. Baby, give the beat a chance. When nothing else is making sense, just put the rhythm to the test. Baby, give the beat a chance. All we got to do is come on and dance. Somebody dancing in the park. People shaking out the dance. Just make it feel. All you gotta do is cruise. Everybody dance. Somebody dancing in the park. People shaking out the dark. Just make a move. All you gotta do is cruise. Everybody dance. Give the beat a chance. But nothing else is making sense. Just put the rhythm to the test. Baby, give the beat a chance. All you got to do is come on and dance. Yes.
Hey, welcome to Beyond. We are so pleased to have an incredible guest, Andy Vargas, lead singer of Santana, and he's strike out in a solo career with Andy Vargas and the Soleros. We just heard his set tonight. It's amazing. Andy, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, so
It's an honor.
what an incredible set and just what incredible energy you had on stage. I just sat there and for me, who's not an artist, who's not a singer, and I'm sure for you who does it all the time, it just for me was such an amazing, masterful performance that was so effortless, so connected to the audience with a lot of heart.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So how would you describe to people what you do? I mean, you're Andy Vargas and someone meets you. What do you describe to people what you do for a living?
Well, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, I'm a musician, and I'm a songwriter, a vocalist, a performer. You know, I like to evoke emotion, you know, through my performances. But that's what I would pretty much say on the surface level, you know.
Right.
But there's a lot more that comes with being, you know, an artist and you know, songwriter and performer and things. When you get to a place of evoking emotion and knowing that's what you're doing, you know, not just seeking attention.
But connecting on a soul level almost, where you
Yes.
know you have that gift or power,
Yes.
and you're able to write songs that really connect with people's experiences,
Yes.
and you're able to use that in a way that's positive.
Yes, correct.
Right.
Yeah. And translate that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a gift. And so, you know, at the age of 15, as I read your biography, your mom got a meeting with the renowned music producer Terry Melcher,
Yeah.
who was the son of Doris Day,
Yes.
but is
yes.
better known for producing records by the Byrds, Paul Revere,
Yes.
the Raiders, and the Beach
Yes.
Boys. And then, of course, you had Bruce Johnson of the Beach Boys.
Yes. Yes.
And together, Melcher and Johnson signed you to a production and management contract that eventually
it.
got you a recording contract with RCA and
Ron
BMG.
Fair. Ron Fair.
Ron Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about your family connection to music and the industry.
Well, my father is a musician, has been his whole life, and has been a mariachi performer and has had a mariachi band his whole life. And so, you know, as far as I can remember, you know, music always filled the house. And we always had, you know, people practicing, you know, mariachi bands, you know, playing. I would go see and hear him play all the time. He would always work. My dad is still playing with his band. Music feeds his soul, and that's what I learned from him, you know. And it's just what makes him happy. And he was my musical influence as a child, yeah. And then, you know, my godfather was also may he rest in peace. He was a major influence in the Catholic Spanish, you know, songs sung in the Catholic Church. You know, in the Spanish Missalette.
Yes.
You know, he was a major songwriter in those songs, Eleazar Cortés. And I learned a lot from him. There was a group called the Penny Club in Watsonville, California, which was led by Father Rojas, Jose Rojas. And it was basically a lot of these people like my dad and my godfather and my godmother, Vivis. And they would teach kids, you know, instruments, and then they made a group, and that group would go out and perform, you know, weddings and things, and it's called the Penny Club because it only cost a penny to join.
Wow.
And then they had a summer program where they brought kids, and so the kids could be off the streets, and they'd go pick them up. You know, they taught them, you know, music, dance, baile folklorico and stuff. The Penny Club from Watsonville. So this was an amazing event that happened for many, many years. Amazing program, that happened for many years. At one point, my grandfather, my mom's father, was the treasurer. You know, and this is where my mom and my dad actually met, was within the Penny Club.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was around a lot of music as a young child. You know, didn't have to be famous. You know, didn't have to be, you know, Hollywood.
Right.
Just music,
Yeah.
soul, spirit. You know, music.
So that was your reality. It wasn't like you said, hey, I want to do music, I'm going to go pursue that. Your reality growing up, you were just immersed in music,
That's what it
singing,
was.
and that's what all the people that influenced your life did,
Yes.
in essence. So that's interesting. So I was going to ask sort of a natural question. At what point did you know that singing and music and performing was interesting to you? Was it at 2 or 4 or 5, or did you know you kind of had a bend towards it, or was it just, I'm growing up in this environment and this is kind of what we do?
Well, honestly speaking, I liked the attention as a young child. Like, you know, when you would sing a song, like these mariachi songs, or you know, like Cielito Lindo, and then you'd see all of a sudden be like, oh my God, everyone get excited. They sit around, they'd be like, okay, now go. And then you know, there's the nerves, you have to get over that and stuff. But once they sat there and said, okay, now go. Once I got past that and performed and I saw what it did, I was like, I want to do this. This is great.
Did it take you a while to get over those nerves? Those initial nerves, or did you always have nerves?
I always had nerves.
Yeah.
I always had nerves growing up, yeah. And I like the feeling when you're done. Because then it's like, oh God, this feels great, you know, it's a release.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just my early memories was, I could remember once things got kind of serious and I started, you know, performing with my dad's mariachi band, and we had commitments, and I couldn't make, you know, play dates with my buddies and stuff, and, you know, I had to be on a performance schedule. And then I used to have friends that used to come with me. You know, it was cool because we used to hang out backstage at county fairs.
And
I
how
had
old
my
were
own
you in this
dressing room.
performance schedule?
You know, I guess it started like maybe when I would start really doing stuff like that. I started young. I started like around when I was like 7, 8, and then it led to, you know, 13, 14. I started kind of leaning towards DJing and kind of like, you know, production and writing and stuff already. You know, 13, 14, and then 15 was when I met Terry Melcher.
Wow.
Yeah.
So speaking on that, so at such a young age, what was your mindset when you signed your recording contract? I mean, you had all this experience building up to it, but now you're signing a recording contract.
Well, that's everyone's dream, because before, like, the music business has changed now, but back in the day, that's what anyone wanted, was to like sign your name on the dotted line.
Right.
You know, your life was going to change. You know, here comes the house and the car. You know what I mean? Here comes fame and tour buses and screaming, you know, girls chasing you and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't necessarily my reality, but I did sign a major record deal at a young age, and it was surreal. You know, it was definitely surreal, and I had to go back to high school and really keep it on the low pro. You know, because like I didn't really like tell many people, because it's, you know, you're like, what, you know,
who are you? And
well, like, why, you know, you, yeah, or like, nah, you're just messing around, you know. But in my mind, I always knew that was happening, even when I went back to high school and still had to go to school. So I always knew that was going to be my future. You know, other people were graduating and they didn't know what their future was. I had some classmates that, you know, there's a fear of graduating. And what do you do now?
What's the next step?
What's next?
Everything's programmed up to that point.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there's a fear of the unknown. And there were some of my really good friends who ended up, you know, just getting involved in the wrong things and ended up dying, you know, in car accidents and, you know, stuff. And, you know, there was a lot of, you know, it's like, well, why not just, you know, have good times, you know, and stuff. And even though there were accidents that happened, you know, I know that there was a lot of like uncertainty as to what the future had to hold, you know, with a lot of my friends.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, because it seems to me that the experience you had with your friends dying and that sort of period of time in your life probably influenced at some level the music you're able to write, and how you connect with music in those difficult times, and how you'd express that music. Not that we're talking about singing about death, but I mean, those are pretty heavy topics that I would imagine at a young age gave you a different perspective and maybe allowed you to connect a little different to the music you were writing. Is that safe to say?
It started it. It opened up the doors. Yeah, I experienced a lot. We've all experienced a lot of life, but it definitely opened up the doors to like, wow, this can happen at a young age. Just like death, you know, this is not the way, you know, we should be graduating, you know?
Yeah, it reminds me of a story of a guy who got sent away to a military academy as a teenager because he defied his dad. And when he got there, it was during the Vietnam War. They would show, and they were hardcore in these kids, and they would show pictures of kids their age in the Vietnam War that died. And it really galvanized this guy, like, wow, that can really happen, death. And you really, so he got really dedicated, started working hard, and sort of turned the corner. So many artists don't survive the challenging entertainment industry. I mean, it's not easy. What you do, you make it look simple, you make it look easy, you got talent. But there's a lot of talented artists that don't necessarily survive it. Reflecting back, what do you see to be one of your biggest mistakes or learning opportunities in the business?
You know, I don't look at mistakes as, you know, mistakes as bad things anymore. You know, I look at them as learning lessons, you know. So I would say that, you know, some of my greatest learning lessons in the music business, maybe, you know, contracts, you know, really understanding your contract to the T.
And did you have attorneys or lawyers representing when you first signed your contract?
I did, and I had attorneys walk me through, and I was like her first attorney. I was her first client. She was my first attorney, and she was like a paralegal, and now she's changing laws in the GOP.
Okay.
I would say, pacing yourself a little bit, patience. I really wanted it, to happen now. Patience, trust was a big deal because there were a lot of misleading, advices and things, So, really having someone, trusting someone there 100% to make sure that everything filtered through them is a big deal, especially, at that time, there was a lot of money being thrown around all the time and things and stuff, and not just music.
Right.
And at the time, man, just like, gosh, I just new, fresh in Hollywood and the scene and everything, it's so much.
Overwhelming.
It's definitely overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then later on in joining the Santana band, just really pacing yourself and understanding what it's like to go out and tour and take care of yourself, and make sure you treat your body like your temple and your voice to keep it at the optimum level, those are a lot of lessons, hard lessons I learned, late night in the club the night before is not going to be great when you got to go out and
Right.
rock the house. But when you're young, you got the youth to slap your back just like medicine would.
Mm-hmm.
It's no big deal. But these days I'm really I watch a lot of that.
Thoughtful about what you eat, how you take care of
Yeah.
your sleep.
I'm very careful.
Although
with a
you
lot
have an
of that stuff.
insane schedule to talk about, that most people be like, how do you do that? But what is the biggest perception that people have of being a singer? I mean, people look at you.
Misperception?
Yeah, like they look at you and it's like either they dream of that life or what's the biggest misperception?
I don't know because I can't think for anybody else. So I
Yeah.
don't know what they would misperceive about me or whatever. I mean, even I don't know. Because I can't say. I don't think I've ever really heard a perception that maybe I thought was a misperception.
Well, some people could say, well, he's got talent, must be easy. He's lucky because he's gifted, so therefore he's got a great life. And maybe they don't always see the work behind it all, right? Or some of the risks that you took, or some of the challenges.
Yeah. I guess that's life.
Yeah.
For any kind of job that
Yeah.
you do. No one oversees the hours that in the morning that the basketball pro ball players in there shooting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of balls before practice even starts.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's always that, and yes, I do a lot of behind the scenes. I do a lot of work on my own, training, studio hours. It's always. I'm always working. I'm always doing
Perfecting
something.
your craft.
Perfecting,
Yeah.
vocal training, exercising, mental reflection, meditating. All of that stuff is all a part of it.
That's so important.
Yeah.
That's so important. Was there a song that was responsible for you embracing your passion for singing? I mean, was there one song where you said, if I can convey that emotion, that meaning, is there one song that gave you that passion?
Well, there's one singer, and his name's Luis Miguel. He's a vocalist from Mexico. He's one of the, I followed him since I was a little kid, and he was a little kid artist as well, a young artist, and his the way he portrays the songs is just phenomenal. Luis Miguel, and his albums, Michael Jackson's records,
Sure.
When I heard, that's when you're like, okay, wow, when he did the Motown revival, I mean, that's, there'll probably never be those moments ever again where you just felt like life is changing right now,
Yeah, when he came on the scene, you knew it was different. There was something different about that artist, that performer,
Yes.
Michael Jackson. There's no question.
Yeah.
He was insanely gifted. How would you describe your creative process? When you going through, like, I'm going to produce a song or create the music around it. What does that look like?
It just varies, you know, it depends on what kind of, what instrument I'm on that is evoking the emotion, and that, you know, you kind of build like layers of, you know, of circles of patterns and stuff, and you just build those on, you know, on top of that. And then whatever instrument I'm working on, or whatever unit that's capturing that, whether it be something like just a recorder or a sequencer that's, it can actually manipulate a lot easier. I really don't have a process. It's just, for me, it's more so like turning off the phone, you know, making sure my life is okay, everyone's okay. I'm not worried about who I'm going to talk to or anything like that, you know, because you got to really get centered and just disconnect, you know. So I think that would be probably number one, and then number two is, you know, got to make sure, you know, that you know, you're fed and, you know, you're feeling good, because you get going, you just get going forever,
Right.
You know. I like to have like a nice view sometimes. If I'm in the studio, that's what it is. But, you know, when I travel, I used to take a guitar with me around all the time, and just go out and sit on the beach and start playing my little recorder, start recording, you know, little cassette recorders back in the day.
So you're playing, you're creating the music and the lyrics at the same time? You're just trying different lyrics?
Yeah, so, you know, you get some of my music that you really feel, and then that kind of like invokes the melody and lyric on top of that. So
Is it hard crafting lyrics?
Well, sometimes the melody comes out and the pattern of the melody comes out first, and then you just kind of like, you know, see what, it's more of a thought process, or sometimes it just, the lyric just comes out because you're feeling a particular story.
Right.
It just all flows out, or sometimes you kind of give it a little bit more of a thought process as to, you know, putting in a particular word or phrase or in this area,
Right.
to invoke that emotion. Some certain words sing better, you know.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. And move the audience. So
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned Santana as the lead singer of Santana, which is incredible, really compliment to you and
Thank you.
an accomplishment. What does it feel like to play with a legend? I mean, what's that like?
It's surreal.
I mean, after all these years, it still feels surreal.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, Carlos is a person that every day is like a surreal day, you know. Being around him, it's just magical.
Is he intense? Is he? I mean, clearly he's a master, and he's an artist. You know.
He's like illuminate, man. Like you know, he gets, you know, when he's there, he's ready to play, ready to get to this, get on, you know, ready to rehearse and ready to talk about the music. And so, you know, his energy's, you know, over the top now. He's all.
What was it like to get selected as the lead singer of Santana?
Well, it's been a little while, but I can remember just, you know, it being like a dream come true. Like, that's the feeling of it being a dream come true. Talking to people and then being like, oh my God, like my friends being like, is this really happening? And then all of a sudden we're like on stage at the Grammys, you know, and winning 12 Grammys. And it's like,
Right.
wow, it's like everything just like happened all of a sudden. And I give it all the, you know, I give the glory to God, and I give the gratitude to, you know, Mr. Santana, you know, Carlos.
Well, he sees talent. What is the most important lesson Santana taught you?
You know, Carlos taught me many things. I would say what comes to mind right now is just respecting other musicians and respecting the music and honesty in the music. You know, if you're really feeling what you're singing,
Then the audience will certainly.
then the audience, you know, connecting to that one person. He told me what Janis Joplin told him was just going in and just talking to that one person, you affect the whole audience.
Really?
That's
Wow.
why that's how you can, like, you know, zone out and to zone in.
So one person. Interesting.
Yeah. That, you know, you touch one person and you'll touch everybody.
So you said something interesting. We were talking this before we got on the set, and we're talking about respect for other performers. And, you know, we know there's that thing called ego, and there's some dominant personalities that are singers.
Uh-huh.
And you had something interesting to say about how you react and interact in that way to bring out the best in everybody, every singer, every artist, every performer. Can you expand that a little bit?
Well, there's I mean, different types of shows and different types of musicians, you know, and, you know, when you're a performer, when, you know, it's all about you on stage, and granted, that's that energy. But I've been fortunate enough to be, around, some very gifted musicians that I want to hear the musician on stage play. I want to hear other people play because that gets me going. It gets me really excited.
Right.
I want everyone, to win. Carlos says, everyone wins on our team, and that's how we always win every night. Everyone gets the time to shine.
Sounds like a coach.
Oh, he is. He totally is an awesome coach.
Yeah.
But the thing is like tonight, our keyboard player or our guitar player or whatever, if I were like dominating the energy, that wouldn't make them want to like play, their best.
Right.
So
it's giving up to others and sharing the experience.
Exactly.
To bring out incredible performance.
Exactly.
What was your inspiration now to pursue a solo career with Soleros? It's awesome. And for the audience to keep it in perspective, you're the lead singer for Santana. Mm-hmm. You're traveling all over the world, all over the country.
Yes.
You got this insanely busy schedule.
Yes.
And then you also have a band and a solo career, creating your own music.
Yes.
That's impressive. So what was the inspiration to take off in that direction?
I've always, as you know, I had a career, where I started from, and I always had, ambition to continue that. So I've always been writing songs. I got together with a buddy of mine, George Pahone from the Black Eyed Peas.
Sure.
And Chuck Prada, percussionist for the Peas at one point, and also producer. And I went to them and I brought them some like ideas of songs and stuff. And at one point, that's how Soleros was kind of like molded. And then I had a lot of these other songs that were kind of like hanging around and stuff. And I knew that it was gonna take some time, but I want to develop my sound, my vibe, my style, which is a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of R&B, and a little bit of bolero and mariachi.
Right.
And I think that started the creative side of things, but then, as the music business changed, which it did drastically over a certain number of years, I had to kind of, figure out how I was going to play a part in that and how the business was going to, work for me, and some trial and error, which is great, some learning lessons. But now, and I got together with some amazing, partners. And I have a Soleros LLC, which is Soleros Records, which is the major company that owns all our masters and things, and then I have my publishing and our band, the Soleros band. It took a little while to put together,
right.
And have it work right. And we have our record now that's going to be released next year. We had a couple of soft releases throughout the year, which are amazing. But we're really looking forward to the really presenting embodiment of music for the listener to really get into, who I am, not just the thought of the day, a single. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. It's a great idea. It's great for what's happening in the business right now, which is everyone just, wants to just get in that one song because they don't, listen to more than 30 seconds of a song.
Right.
But the listener that wants to listen to Andy Vargas and Soleros, they have something to play in the background while they're making some food for dinner, while they want to play for, the ambiance around a fireplace, or in the bedroom with your lady, you're going to play my music,
Right.
That's why I want to, put that out. So, granted, thank you, and I give respect to, everyone who's, has all of their theories in the music business and has a lot of success. But I kind of want to do this more for my fan, more for my listener,
Which is the right way to do business, right for your customer.
That's it.
That's what it's all about.
And make it really good.
Yeah.
Make it every
And it
moment.
is really good.
Thank you.
We heard it tonight. It was amazing.
Thank you.
It's sort of amazing. So, if you could play or sing with any person throughout music history, who would it be and why?
Marvin Gaye.
And why?
Marvin Gaye. Oh, because the emotion that he evokes is just over the top for me. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't play with Carlos, I would say it'd be Carlos. But Carlos turns me on to so much Marvin Gaye, and the way that his placement and his phrasing of his music and his tone and his, the way he drew in and felt the music.
That really has influenced you, because we saw it tonight. That's what I was experiencing. In fact, we were saying you could almost be part operatic singer, and you just have this energy and this passion and this voice carry, and the feeling, you feel it when you sing. It's not just a song.
Yeah.
And your high highs and low lows, you're going on that roller coaster.
Thanks. Yeah, you know, it took some time just to feel confident with all of that, because I know some people would be like, man, you got to sing more like this, or you got to sing more less falsetto, more of this, more of that. You know, I like it when you sing better in Spanish. I like it when you sing better in English. And it's like, you know what? That's cool, you know, but I stopped trying to please them in a sense of, I want you to be happy when you hear my music, but I have to really, you know, just love what it is I do, and to be able to do it right for you to really, really enjoy it the right way.
Because you're trying to please everybody. It just screws
it just screws you up, yeah. And a lot of people do that in music.
Yeah, which is a short-term plan, I would think. So, do you have any other desire to sing any other genre of music?
Well, I mean, I sing a lot of rock, you know, I love reggae, you know, I don't see, I mean,
Should we expect a heavy metal album soon?
Not heavy metal, but I got really close with a group called Slight Return. We wrote some amazing music, and that's
well, you clearly have the voice if you wanted to go that direction.
Oh, thank you.
Question.
I mean, we cover a lot of rock songs with Carlos, and heavy metal. I don't know if I can get that grunge growl, you know, but but I like it. Chords? But I like it. I work out to it.
Yeah.
You know? Oh yeah.
Like the guy Metallica is amazing. Right?
Yeah.
Just do that.
That's great, man.
And not destroy the vocal cords. He's got a great talent.
That is a talent.
Yeah.
Takes training.
If you weren't a singer, what would you be doing right now in your life?
I'd love to DJ. You know, I'd probably be, you know, DJing. If I didn't, I love, you know, like contracts, you know, music business contracts. You know, I could have been an attorney. I would have enjoyed it because it would have kept me in the business and stuff. You know, or working with my foundation, working within my nonprofit, you know, being of service. Those are the things that I would be doing right now.
Let's talk about your nonprofit. I thought it was very interesting where you have a nonprofit really dedicated to kids that have maybe expressed interest in the music business or singing, and it's a foundation that allows underserved kids to take advantage of their dreams or passions or be exposed to it. Can you expound that a little bit?
Well, you know, I wanted to share with youth exactly what got me inspired in the mornings, you know, and it really is the intent, right? You know, because I wanted to like play records. I wanted to mess with my little realistic mixer, and I wanted to pretend like I had a radio show, and you know, those feelings and that inspiration is what kept me wanting to, you know, come back to the house and bring the kids over to play with me in there, you know, not just maybe go out and do, you know, the other things that they were doing, right? And I just I shared that. I started to go out and talking at schools and doing some, you know, speaking at graduation and things like that. And I saw that I had I was able to connect to the kids, and of all ages, and talk to them about hard times, and you know,
that's important.
And so I was able to, you know, bring that out, and then why not, you know, I had, you know, all my musician buddies around. Why not show them that you can do this too? So basically, it's everything that I'm doing. I'm being transparent with the kids and showing them they can do the same.
Music, everything. How to write songs. We're just put it all together.
We're just starting. We're going to show them how to do everything they want to, God willing, in one big building soon. But we're right now partnering with other organizations and stuff, and you know, fundraising. You know.
And where's this located? In Watsonville, or is it?
So in Watsonville, California, yes. My dad's going to be heading that up there, and you know, with kids, and you know, learning mariachi, learning voice, guitar. And then eventually, you know, the recording arts, which is, you know, these days in your laptop, you know. And then out here, we're doing the same thing in Los Angeles. So it's a California-based program.
And what's the name of the nonprofit they can get a hold of you?
The Andy Vargas Foundation, www.andyvargasfoundation.org. You can see everything there.
Nice. That's fantastic. So you're very accomplished. You've had a lot of experiences in life. You're very successful. What are one or two pearls of wisdom that you could share with the audience if they took that advice from you, those one or two things about their life journey, about what they're experiencing in life, that could help them in that period of time, or that period of need, or period of even progress?
Yeah, well, I would say that if you're having a difficult time, that having faith is everything, because if I would have applied the faith that I have now in my music business I did as a teenager, meaning, hey, if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. If that person didn't like your demo tape, it wasn't meant to be. That wasn't your pathway. You have new paths
That's
coming.
a great perspective.
So if I would have looked at things like that, if I would have, I'd say, just have patience, but be persistent. Always be persistent. People love consistency and persistence. Persistence. Excuse me. I think a strong faith system, whatever it is, believe that it's coming, and you'll see it come. It's the most amazing thing.
Manifest,
but if you don't, manifest it, man. If you don't, it won't.
Right. That's powerful. That's
Yeah.
Those are some very wise words. Who's that person in your life that's had the most influence?
Influence? Well, obviously Carlos and my father.
Yeah.
I listened a lot to Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer is an amazing spiritualist.
Yeah.
I'd say that, and probably my kids, my children and their mother, my family has had the biggest influence in my life. It's teaching me so much every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think kids are the great equalizers.
Oh yeah, man.
Right. So from at least a maturity standpoint, that's what I've learned for myself. If you can go back and give yourself advice, what would it be?
Oh man, hold on tight. Hold on tight. Get ready for the ride. I would just say, I would tell myself, probably to trust a little more. Yeah, trust a little more, and trust yourself a little.
I would think if you're successful, trusting a little more can be challenging because you get to a point like, why are people talking to me? What's the angle here? I would imagine that there's some of that dynamic going on. So it's
just trust yourself. Trust yourself more.
Your intuition.
Yeah. Trust your intuition.
Yeah, that's good. Is there anything we haven't covered that you'd like to share with the audience?
Just to follow me at Andy Vargas Music on Instagram and on Facebook, Andy Vargas Official. And especially our YouTube, Andy Vargas and Soleros on YouTube.
Soleros, right?
Yeah, and you can find everything on andyvargas.com as well.
And so that's it from Beyond. What an amazing show. Thanks so much, Andy.
Thank you, Ben.
I'm humbled to have you on.
Thank you so much.
You're an amazing artist, and I think we're going to take the show out with the song you sang at the last, Don't Let Anybody Get You Down. Don't
Let Nobody Get You Down. It's a song by Ward. Please keep a lookout for my record in February, all right?
Yeah, February. Yeah. Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
That's it from Beyond. Wardrobe provided by John Barbados, South Coast Plaza. Till next time, take care. Thanks.
All right.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Cool.
Don't let no one get you down. 'Cause if they do, I'll be around. I want you here, so near, by my side. So my dear, wipe those tears from your eyes. Don't let nobody get you down. Don't let nobody get you down. let you down. 'Cause if they do, I'll be around. I want you here, oh so near by my side. So my dear, wipe those tears from your eyes. Don't let nobody get you down. That's right, sing with us, come on. Don't let nobody get you down. No. Don't let nobody get. Don't let no one. Life is too short to cry. Don't let nobody get you down. Let me see who's joining us. Let me see who's alive out here. Sing with us, come on. Don't let nobody get you down. It feels real good, I promise. This guy, oh, come on, man, you got it. Don't let nobody get you down.
Because we're here to have a good time, y'all. Don't let nobody get you down.
Don't let nobody get you down.
Andy Vargas, the Soletos, bringing everybody here together here tonight.
You gotta feel good inside.
No matter what race,
And if you cry,
what age,
don't let nobody
what you going
bring
through.
you down.
We're here together tonight
'Cause if you do, I'll be around.
to bring happiness,
Don't let
to bring
nobody
joy.
bring you down.
togetherness.
'Cause if you do, I'll be yours.
Power to the people, y'all.
Don't let nobody get you down. Don't let nobody get you down. Thank you.